The sights, sounds, landscapes and four-wheel driving at Eldee Station all combine to give us city slickers a surreal feeling of these remote, harsh and unforgiving lands. But digging a little deeper, doing some research and of course a healthy dose of local knowledge will quickly draw you deeply into the inspirational stories and the history that lies amongst these barren ranges. The quality and extent of the ruins and history at Eldee Station is astonishing. With our modern vehicles and creature comforts, it is close to impossible to fathom how these early settlers survived out here. The heat, the dust, the rugged terrain and sheer remoteness would have made these families tough, resourceful and resilient.
Well, we've had a terrific day out four-wheel driving in the ranges here behind Eldee Station. And one of the things that never ceases to amaze me out here is the history and the hardships that people used to go through. Back in the mid-1800s, the Whittings family moved out from the UK. They basically got on a ship, came out here and they settled here north of Broken Hill. And you can't even imagine what it would have been like for them to come from somewhere like Britain and then settle out here and basically start from scratch. I mean, it really is quite amazing how these people survived out here and didn't just survive, they flourished in many cases.
Yeah, the Mundy ruins were built back to about 1860, 1870. It was the original head station of Mundy Station. It used to be a massive place. There's old wool sheds there and graves and about 4 homesteads and old dams.
We've gone right through the ranges of part of the property at Eldee Station here, and there's a lot of history here. You're treading on some of our first ancestors have trodden on, so it's a very warming feeling to see what they've done and what they achieved out here.
So you'll be driving down a gnarly four-wheel drive track and then you'll come to a nice big flat area and there you'll see the old homestead and other examples of the early settlers' life.
Yeah, we're just coming out of the hills now. We've just got the Mundy ruins. We've just pulled up alongside some graves of the original inhabitants here, the Whitting family that used to live at Mundy Station back in the late 1800s. And we've got a heap of houses and dams and weirs around here. We'll just have a quick look around them.
Wow. It's amazing to see how these people must have lived and how they did it. Coming off a boat in the middle of nowhere and coming to the harsh environment of the barrier ranges to set up a camp is sort of probably no mean feat, and testament to the sturdiness and the hardiness of how these people lived out here.
These old ruins go back 100 odd years or so. There was fireplaces, water tanks, all sorts of wonderful stuff, old shearing sheds. It's quite amazing actually. It's incredible how this country has preserved how well those old ruins, because in many other places they'd be rotted and fallen to pieces, even some of the timber's still intact. So it was really, really quite interesting.
And that really is the beauty of staying on these stations, because what you can do is basically go out with the owners of the station, they'll do a bit of a tag-along tour and then you can pull up and they'll give you the history of the area. So you're not just driving around, not really knowing what you look at. Most of the homestead owners out here offer four-wheel drive tours. They're very, very welcoming. As you can see, Eldee Station in particular is very well geared up for travellers, and it really is worth taking the time to go out with these people and really try and absorb some of the history that goes on some of these properties. And basically a lot of these properties right through this area have got equally amazing stories to tell.
Travelling these lands in our luxurious four-wheel drives goes some of the way to connecting us with the rugged barrier ranges, but it's not until you walk out across the rocky, dry and uneven gullies that you begin to appreciate how tough daily life out here must have been. Apart from the native bird life, reptiles and some kangaroos, the only living things you will see most of out here are the wild goats. I was lucky enough to quietly close the gap on these two kitties and both young Samuel and Shay took great delight in the opportunity to pat these feral animals. Quickly losing sunlight, it was though time for us to move on, and another half hour of easy four-wheel driving would see us chatting about our first day exploring Eldee Station, recapping the highlights of the four-wheel driving, yearning to learn more about the history of the place, and ready for another gastronomical feast at the hands of Naomi Schmidt, one of the property owners.
Apart from that, there was some great four-wheel driving through creek beds, up and down creek beds. We saw some terrific scenery. We saw some very rugged escarpments, which are quite remarkable. Everyone enjoyed themselves. The weather was terrific, so it was a great day out. And thank you to everybody for a terrific trip so far.
Heading back through there and back through the countryside, back at home, the sun setting behind us, it was good. Very warming coming home to a lovely dinner last night.
Tune in next week for more on Eldee Station, its history and hidden treasures. Right now though, let's finish this episode with the Ask an Expert segment.